Oh no, I'm out of focus. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Mob Hammer. I'm Mob, and today is going to be my first live stream. Figuring out a lot of little technical difficulties and new things I haven't done yet before, so bear with me as I figure a couple of these things out. One of which is my side view camera that you're looking at now, but I'm very excited to get things started over here. Definitely a little iffy on focus, but that's okay. I've got some better things for you to look at anyways. Today, I'm going to be working on painting. What I got in the mail from the Army Painter, which is the Speed Paint Complete Set from the Army Painter 2.0. And it looks like my image is flipped. Looks like there's still a couple of things here I still haven't figured out. So don't mind me while I get these shenanigans sorted out. Like again, technical difficulties, first time streaming. We'll see how this goes, everybody. For those tuning in live, thanks for coming by. For those watching after I posted, I hope you like it. Horizontal, there we go. Now you can see the proper way. We'll have to flip it in my next view. But I'm very excited to dive into this. It has a lot of paints. We're talking about 90 paints. It's a big, thick box. I was really lucky to have been sent this. My buddy Jake and I have been wanting to do some more painting and have talked about doing some projects together. And in this case, we have thought that we would not have enough time to paint. But luckily, because now we have the Speed Paint, we're going to be doing that together with the Scaventide box. But we haven't had much time to hang out, so I really want to take the opportunity to do some of my own painting and play around a little bit. Plus, you know, we got sent this paint set, so I want to make sure I put it to good use. Let me just make sure this camera is situated. Don't worry, you're going to be looking through this camera once I switch over. So, what we're going to be doing today, guys, is we have... Ooh, I'm also still flipped around that image. What we're going to be doing today is that I have two warbands that have been sitting on my shelf for a while from the Heart of Ghur set. They are both the Rotmeyer Creed, which contain 10 fun little dudes, which are pretty cool looking, but also, you know, a little crazy looking. And then there's also the Horns of Hashut as well, much more burly, masculine, barbarian dudes. Because it is fantasy, it means that Speed Paint will be working a lot better on these than they would on flat, smooth surfaces. It is really exciting to be able to have miniatures like with flesh and cloth and everything. It really, like, this is something that really lets Speed Paint really shine. When you have smooth surfaces like panels, sometimes it can be a little difficult to get the Speed Paint to work properly. In this case, though, because there's so many grooves and little nooks and crannies of the miniature, it's going to allow us a lot of details to stand out. Let me just fix this one little technical glitch here. I think I got this. Let's see. Yeah, that's still flipped around. Like I said, guys, I'm new to this, so don't mind me while I figure this out. Oh, that was upside down. Whoopsie. Oh, hello. We have Remax Chanifesto. Ooh, hello, Remax Chanifesto. How's it going? I'm figuring out how to actually stream. It's a little more complicated than I thought. There it is. All right, so over here I have what was the Wargamers edition from the Army Painter. This I actually got before I got sent the Speed Paint from them, but I'm very excited by this. Now, the only issue I have now is that I may have a little too many colors to choose from in this set. If you take a look in my, you can't see too much of my space, but I have Citadel paint line here, I have Viejo paints over here, I have Pro Acryl up over here, I have some more Viejo paints and Express colors down here. So it's really hard to find a good space to put everything. Right now, what I'm in the middle of doing to organize my space, make it a little bit nicer, is I've been 3D printing these little paint pot holders to fit on my desk. The idea is I should be able to just fit them in and line them up between these two, like they basically just stack on top of each other and create a grid. So I'm looking forward to getting this set up. It does take a while to print, but honestly, the flexibility will probably mean I have a lot of real estate on my desk that I can use, and it's just cool. It's cool to make use of a 3D printer and have something practical when you make your own little furniture. So I'm going to keep playing around with that and see what happens. Again, TBD at how ultimately useful that will be, but I'm going to keep trying here anyways. So I think what I want to do is I want to start with some more of the basic miniatures. I started playing around a little bit with some old contrast paints on one of the... I gotta look at this. I mess up the names. On one of the Mirefolk Outcast with Bilewood weapons. Now this guy actually also has a long-range like blow dart weapon. Now I really like Warcry. It's actually a lot more of a fast, fun skirmish game. I mean, Warhammer's still fun. Warhammer 40k is great. I still haven't played a full game of Age of Sigmar, but skirmish games like Warcry, Kill Team, they're like really fast-paced games that don't really require a lot of miniatures and can be a lot of fun just to jump in with some friends. Obviously, there's a learning curve, but it's a lot easier to get into when you're only dealing with 10 miniatures or 10 fighters on your side as opposed to the dozens, if not hundreds of miniatures when you play a full game of Age of Sigmar or 40k. So this is a great, fun way to play with folks. Plus also it makes it getting into the hobby a little bit more digestible when you're not so stressed out about having to paint every single miniature. Granted, I don't have that many miniatures right now to deal with, and they've been sitting on my shelf for months, but that's why we got Speedpaint now, to see if we can hurry it up a little bit. So I originally started like with this kind of bluish green kind of color over them, but I might mix this up a little bit. And I also want to look for some skin tones that will work for them. They're also got some boils and poxes on them that I might play around a little bit more later. Let me get back to that. So I've got a lot of paints here. I've got way more paints than I can imagine to deal with. I don't know how you can hear me, but there's just a lot of paints to look at. So let's see what I got here. The cool thing about this set is that they also come with Speedpaint Medium, which means I can use this to create glazes with some of my other standard acrylic paint and also like thin down this paint a little bit more. It also came with 3 brushes, which will make things a little bit easier. I'm not the best at taking care of my brushes, and it's something that I have failed in a lot in the past, so I need to really improve that, if you ask me. So if you have any good brush recommendations, let me know. Otherwise, these brushes seem like a great place to start. Now, a lot of people when they start in the hobby are trying to figure out what kind of paint they should get. And the fact of the matter is there are different paints for everyone that do different things. And you have to really ask yourself what type of painter you're going to be, and if you're going to be somebody who wants to get things done fast and dirty, if you want to put down a fast foundation and then add details later, or if you're somebody who wants to focus purely on the art and want to take forever on your miniatures because you want to be a Golden Demon entry one day. It really all depends on who you are as a person, and no single technique is going to work for everybody. You have to just kind of figure out what you have the patience for and what you're willing to learn and try out. For me, I play around a lot of different techniques. I started using just regular acrylic paints when I started over a decade ago. I wasn't really great at thinning my paints. So when contrast paints and speed paints came out, this was a good opportunity for me to get faster at painting and not feel like I had to worry about thinning them down as much. However, now that I have evolved a bit as a painter and learned a little bit more what I'm trying to do, I've been mixing both the techniques. And I think what's been really great about speed paint is that you can have the opportunity to get paint down really fast and make your miniature look pretty decent with all the details, and then later on come back and add in more highlights and more edges or edge highlights later on in the future. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here just to get paint down, be creative, and get your miniatures on the battlefield and not have them be gray. Granted, don't let gray miniatures stop you from playing. You should absolutely play whether or not they're gray or if they're painted. You got this, you're spending the money on these miniatures, you got to play with them. That's the thing that's most important. Anywho, so let's, like I said, we're going to start with the Rotmeyer Creed, and we have to figure out what color scheme I'm going to use for them. So I'm going to start with this handy dandy guy with a blow dart, I think. Let's get a good shot of him over here. Make sure we got a good focus on him. Maybe even like zoom in a little bit more on him. What do you think of that? There it is. So yeah. So he's got, so what you can see here is none of the miniatures without any color on them. I started with a Zenithal highlight. So I primed everything black, and then from above I airbrushed white with a white primer. So that way it creates the shadows from above when I airbrush it. And this basically means that it acts as a guide for the lighting and actually works really well with translucent paints like speed paints, contrast, and express color. And I think this should really help a lot with making the details stand out and just creating more object source lighting and directional light. So if you have any questions, any colors you want to see, or if there's anything that you want to ask, let me know down in the comments. I have some other miniatures too that are primed and white, and I can play around with the colors, so just let me know in the comments. So in this set, we have a lot of colors, but something else that's also really cool is the Speedpaint Metallics. While most of the colors in this set are all very translucent, I found that the metallic Speedpaint Metallics, while they are very liquid, they can flow very well, they aren't nearly as translucent, which means that I kind of like to add the metals last, because for any mistakes or edges that may have bleed over a little bit, I can clean it up a little bit with the metallic on the swords and on the armor. So I highly recommend doing that. It will just make your life a whole lot easier. I hope I'm all sounding good. Let me know in the comments if y'all can't hear me or what's going on. I think I can hear myself. Okay, great. It's all good. But let me know. So first things first, I want to start with a skin tone. So I have to go through this gigantic paint set and look for it, because I gotta say, there are a lot of options. Let's see here. Bear with me a moment, friends. Ooh, we have Crusader skin. That could be a good option. It looks a little bit darker than it does on the image, but let's hold this off for a second. Let's see. Crusader skin might be the way to go. Let's see if there's anything else. I know I should absolutely have gone through and looked at this box before starting this, but you know what? It keeps things exciting. Am I right? I am not in focus. There we go. Ish maybe. We'll get it figured out. All right, we're gonna go back to the painting side. All right, so let's see what we got here, friends. Make sure that looks all nice and pretty so you can be thinking along with me. Oh, here we go. I also have Peachy Flesh, which, I don't know, for these guys being dark, maybe I can start with a lighter color and then I can tune it down a little bit with a wash. Not sure. Let me see what else is going on. I also have... oh, there's so much freaking paint. Bony Matter, Aged Hide, Blood Red, jeez, Algae Green. Just so many paints. Okay. You know what? I'm also going to swap out this side camera and get you something a little bit nicer, because I don't want to be out of focus for this. I got to be looking pretty for this stream if this is my first time. I haven't gotten to painting yet. It's embarrassing, but you'll be able to see more of the space and get an idea of what I'm working with once you see it. Let's see. I think we're gonna start with. Let's just start with Crusader skin. It looks very similar, at least on the bottle. So I'm not sure how different it will be, but we're gonna try it out. We're gonna start with Crusader skin and then bring it down if we need to. So, like all paints, you gotta shake it up. So while I'm doing that, changing the video source. There we go, and then changing this to USB Live camera. If it works, maybe not. It never works when you need to. All right. Alright, whatever. Anywho. Getting this nice and shook up. Alright. Alright, so peachy skin. This does look a little bit dark here, but once we put it on the white areas, we'll see how well it gets hidden, or if it is too dark. But let's play it out, because the whole point of this is we're going to try this out, and this is to experiment and learn how this paint works together. I've only used the Speedpaint Metallics, so I'm a little unfamiliar with how these colors will work, but I'm excited. Okay, so first things first, mounting it on my handy dandy thingamajig handle. All right, guys. So let's make sure he's all nice and focused. There we go. Okay, so starting with Crusader skin, let's see how this goes. So we're going to start applying here, and bad. Again, darker shadows, which is nice. Because it is so much more liquidy, it runs more into the recesses, so you can see, let's make sure you get that, it can run into the recesses of the foot and creates a shadowing effect, which is very handy. Now, if you have any trouble seeing this, let me know. I'm going to brighten it up a little bit so you have a easier time seeing what it's doing. Keep on the brush there. I generally want to be careful not to go over it too much once I put paint on, because otherwise it will cause it to run more, and the pigment will wash over and it'll become a little splotchy. So ideally I just have to go over it once or twice and then go back over it once it's dried again. What other people like to use this for is a lot of wet blending, a technique that I myself have not been great at, or have not practiced that much, but it is still a great thing to learn and get comfortable with, because you do get to do cool transitions with lighting, which is nice. Cool, so that's coming together. Okay, let's end his face. The only thing, though, with working with translucent paints is that if you want to go over and add spots, like these little splotches on his skin, I might have to add something different there. Make him look a little more green and pussy, you know, pretty. I'll give a little bit on his face here. Oh, is that his face, or is that? Oh, wow, he's got a bony face, but so I don't know what to do with that. I guess like his skin here, maybe he's. I'm not sure of the lore here. If you know what the lore is on like whether these guys are partially undead, I don't think they are. I don't think they're decaying. They're more like Swamin, I think is what I called them in a previous video at some point, is that they are swamp shaman here. So it is a bit light. It's very translucent on the skin, so I'll probably have to go over this again a second time just to make sure it all stands out, but that's okay. You know, this hobby requires a bit of patience, and it's good to be prepared to do this a couple times. Again, this makes things easier, but it doesn't make things, you know, everything that's worth doing is always requires a little bit of hard work, a little bit of practice, and you should never be, you know, trying to rush through things. I try to remind myself a lot not to rush through things. I sometimes get very overwhelmed with the day-to-day. I live in the city, and sometimes it can be really hard just to kind of shut out all the noise and just focus on one task. And it's something I've had a lot of trouble with before, and it's just nice to find something that you can do that's a little bit creative, and you can focus on, you know, focus on the simple things. And sometimes that's just sitting at your computer talking to strangers on the internet and painting in your Warhammer figurines. That's not bad. Honestly, like that, because like these boils are still kind of white-ish, I can probably wait till this dries and then add some other colors to make this look a little more green and pussy. While it's doing that, I guess I should think about what to give his face. Ideally, you want to be painting from the inside out, so that way you're not running the risk of like going over your paint jobs on the outside. And it's with translucent paints can still be tricky because it's hard to cover it up. You basically have to paint over it with white and then fix your mistake. So it can be a little bit tricky and not a perfect science. Let's see. I need some sort of bone color. Bone color. My goodness. Okay. I don't want to use blinding light. That is too light for me. Let's go with. I'll save Satchel Brown for later because there'll be some things. Let's see. Floxy red, some brown. There's a lot of pastel colors here, which I think is what there's a there's pastel yellow, pastel indigo, Thunderbird Blue, and Pastel Lavender. Cool. Let's see. There's gotta be a bone color here somewhere. I just don't know what it's called. Rigor Mortis. Oh my god, is that? I mean, it's, I don't know. It looks a little brownish, maybe a little green. That might be an option. Let's put a pin on that. That might be an option. Something I would definitely suggest, if you get this, definitely think about organizing it ahead of time. That's partially why I am, again, printing all of these things, because it's a little hard and overwhelming to find what I want to use. And I think that when I go to paint this with Jake in the future, we are definitely going to try to figure out our color schemes a little bit ahead of time. Aha! Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Pallid Bone. That's what I'm talking. Pallid Bone. There we go. So let's shake this bad boy up. You'll also notice that I'm not using the wet palette. Again, if you put it on a wet palette, I find that it gets way too watered down, and then it's not sticking, and it's just basically doing nothing. So these pots are still pretty handy, but they do dry out. They still do dry out pretty quick. So I recommend being very careful how much paint you put in there, because if it does dry out, you're just going to be wasting a lot of paint, and that's not good. Oh, hey there, Lazy Sunday in Gaming. How are you doing? We just had I actually met up with Lazy Sunday earlier today, and we did a little bit of a shoot, and I was given some miniatures to paint from the new War Machine 2-player starter set. We did it over, we did a little viewing video over at Brooklyn Game Night, which is a game store located in Industry City in Brooklyn, and it is it's a great store. You should definitely check it out. Great community people, trying to get some more wargaming scenes over there. Anyways, in this 2-player starter set, I was given half of the box to paint, and my buddy Corey was gracious enough to build it for me, so I just have to paint it. And I gotta tell you, sometimes I don't mind building, but I am sometimes a little bit intimidated or I'm a little hesitant whenever I have to start thinking about starting a project when I have to build. And I think that just because, again, as I said, I'm an impatient person, and sometimes I'm not the best at following my own advice of the things that are most worthwhile just take some time. And it's, again, a thing that we all work through and struggle with. Okay, getting some real paint. So we got a little bit of bone there. Oh, there's a little bit of a bone underneath that here, so we're going to hit that with the brush as well. It's okay. It's a little dark. I'm definitely going to have to add another light in the future here to just make this a little bit more visible for y'all. You know what, actually? Hold on. Stay right there with me, folks. All right. Might be a little darker on my face, but this might be better lighting. Yeah, there we go. So adding that pallid bone here. Not bad. Now the problem is, though, when you have darker areas, you are going to be missing out on some of the details. Like the color of the paint won't necessarily cover up this black area, and it's just gonna stay shadowed, which can be fine. It can be a very intentional, choice. But you know, just be mindful of that, so you don't get frustrated later on. Be a little mindful if you do your Zenithal, or if you do your slap chop method. That also works really great with this. So yeah, now the question is, oh, you know what? There's actually a little bit more bone effects I can see here. Like there's this stuff sticking out, which I don't think is. That's bone. I think this is all bone here. So you know what? Let's tie that together. So that way there's all. I don't know if the skull mask he's wearing is actually his face, or if it's just a a mask. Is Warhammer. There's always like some little grim dark things going on, even if it is fantasy. So it could very well be his real face, some sort of curse given to him. Think of like the Skeletor kind of business. There it is. There we go. The other thing I have that's a little hard is figuring out what the best posture is, because right now I would used to be like hunched over like this, and now I'm kind of just trying to be better at getting comfortable sitting back more. Just my lower back just gets strained, and it's not great. I need to protect it. I'm in my early 30s, early to almost mid 30s. My God, so. Definitely something I'm trying to protect for the long term. Let's say pallid bone is, I think, doing the trick. Now that the skin is drying here, you can see a little bit more of what it's doing. Not bad. It's not bad. A little bit of patchiness here, but I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to go over that again. But I'm liking what this is doing so far. Any other bones? There's like, I guess what I'm gonna do is I'll go with the cloak next. I'm somebody who generally likes a lot more vibrant colors. I'm still learning a lot more about color theory, what ties in, but I'm thinking, I don't know, what would look good? I could go, not a yellow. I'm looking at what I got here. Let's see here. I mean, I could go wild. I could go absolutely wild and go with Moonlight Coral. That might be a little crazy, though. My wife says that I'm just a little bit too flashy retro colors. Like, everything to me looks like it's from the 80s, or it's like some sort of anime-inspired thing. Oh, howdy, Headhunter. How's it going? Headhunter? Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any color recommendations for you think this guy would look good with a cloak, I mean, I want to say green, but I'm just wondering if green's going to be way too generic. Might be cool. I think I could go with a brown, but then his skin won't stand out. Again, the thing that always takes me the most amount of time when it comes to painting is choosing the colors and then second guessing myself afterwards. But sometimes you just have to get it down. So, ooh. Because the colors, the actual colors are green. I guess I could go with orc skin and give seems like a nice vibrant contrast. You know what? Let's go with it. I want to go with orc skin. I'm going to go with orc skin. Here we go, guys. So again, let's always give it a nice little shake. Oh no, my movie recording's been stopped suddenly. I need to get a different camera. Is that recording? Okay, great. Recently updated it in hopes that... I'm fine, thanks. I'm still experimenting a lot with the colors too, so I couldn't... Okay, no worries. I appreciate you stopping by anyways and giving it a try. So, I'm just going to go with what it looks like on the, box art, which is these kind of greenish colors. So, let's give it a go. Orc skin, see what happens. Alright, so I'm going to still stick with, just gotta water this down. The other thing that's tricky is like cleaning the colors off and then cleaning the colors off your brush when you go between them, but also making sure the brush is not too wet. Otherwise, again, the paint gets way too flowy. And you can see it looks, it's not bad. It's a little runny, that's okay. Oh no, oh, really? Audio is dominant in left ear versus right ear. Wow, okay. Oh, I see. Thank you for that. Oh yeah, yellow bone mixed in highlight. That's not a bad idea. Thank you for letting me know about the audio. I realize that now. Let's see if I can fix this real quick. Like this should actually just be a setting in the audio mixer here. Aha! Testing. There we go. I really appreciate letting me know about that. I have been playing with OBS a bit, but again, this is all new to me. So let's see. Yeah, look great. Maybe a yellow bone mixed in as highlights. That's not a bad idea. So let's see. Let's see what this looks like. I'm gonna start with the buttocks because it gives me a little bit of safety area if I decide to change it. I gotta say that's pretty vibrant. That's a pretty vibrant green there. It's not bad actually. The only thing you gotta be careful of now at this point is making sure there's still separation between the skin and the clothes. I can kind of go over it a little bit, but it's a little bit harder with these one coat paints and speed paints, but it's still not the worst thing in the world, and honestly, adding highlights can make a big difference. So it's not bad. Okay, so I'm gonna let that settle for a bit. Yeah, that's why. Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad to hear. 100 times better. You know what? There was a couple people jumping in, and I'm pretty sure they heard the sound coming out one channel. They're like, "Oh, who is this amateur? My goodness." Anyways, here we go. It's not bad. I think when I first started using contrast paints and speed paints, my inclination was just like to go fast, you know. And I think that the thing that's tricky is that yes, they are fast, but you do have to take your time and not just keep slathering the paint on over and over. Otherwise, you'll get like that runny, patchy effect later on. So you really just need to still make sure to take your time. So, all right, here we go. Moment of truth, going for the head. And here we go. Some other details on here I'm not sure what to do with yet, but we'll get there. We will indeed get there. And also the other thing too that I had a problem with these kind of paints and realizing before is to try to always keep the brush going in one direction. I found if I end up going up, again, that causes a bit more of the paint to separate, and it again leads to some more of that patchiness that I was describing earlier. All right, so let's see. Boop, boop, boop. It's not bad. Okay, okay. Can't fix it. Don't. Oh my God, I know. There's always gonna be critics. Always gonna be people willing to help. You know, I'm just trying to listen. It's all a journey, and I'm okay with taking critiques every so often. And again, I always appreciate feedback because again, it's all a learning process, and it's the only way that we get better. And that's something that is true again of everything. I keep telling myself that at one point I'm going to make a video where I'm gonna don an afro and go by the name Mob Ross and make some sort of like calming little conversation about what it means to paint, and you know, believe in yourself, keeping things nice and calm. Just keep the you know, I got growing out the beard, getting the look a little bit more, trying to keep it that way. Hey, look at that. We're already up to 9 concurrent viewers. That's awesome. I'm sure I might have some friends on here. Always good to see some friendly faces. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been watching me for a while in my videos, thanks for coming by, guys. It's been really hard. I've really been wanting to do this more often. You know, life gets in the way, and sometimes it can be hard to know when to prioritize certain things. That's not true. You know what to prioritize. You prioritize loved ones, friends, you know, everyone that's close to you, and you have to, like, you know, put time aside. You got to, like, you know, take a step back from the things that you enjoy or things that bring you peace, because sometimes that's just what life's about. But I'm glad. But now I'm realizing that maybe something I can do that's more consistent is also trying to do live streams like this, get some more painting in, and then taking the footage, which I'm recording here, and eventually putting it into a consolidated video about my experience, more jokes, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I think this way will allow me an ability to get more consistent content out there, while at the same time coming up with plans to make more videos, especially with my friends and people I'm talking to. I shot a video with my buddy Jake that I'm currently in post-production for, which is the Scaventide piece I mentioned earlier. We built it and we painted. We built it and we played our first game, and it's tricky trying to figure out what can I do to make this video entertaining. Not to say that Jake and I are not entertaining. So that's the tricky part right there, is how to deal with things like that. Let's take a look. Let's try this. Let's do this thing real quick. Let's see if I can erase this off real quick. And not bad, not bad. You know, name this. I turned that into a pox or something later. You know, it does get in there pretty quick. And the problem with this is that you do have a chance of reactivating the paint on the skin. Ugh, man, that looks worse on camera. So let's take a dry brush. Oh God, it's getting worse. Oh no. Well, okay, lesson learned. Batch painting. I'm kind of trying to play around a little bit right now with these colors. But maybe next time I just like do all the skin, give that a chance to dry, and then that'll give me a chance to really clean this up. And I feel like I can't tell if I'm making it worse or better. Well, taking off some of the paint, so I'm just gonna do that and add another layer of the Crusader brown later and see what happens. That's such a gnarly green. If it was fantasy over AOS, they blend right into the jungles. Lusteria, sneaky little lizard hunters. Yeah, I give that to them. So then, like, I guess what I'll do to just add another variety, and then like I'll move on, is like add some of this, like something for the wood, something that's a little bit brownish. I feel like I put something to the side for that. Satchel brown is good for pouches, I think, but not what I'm necessarily looking for trees. There's hardened leather, burnished red. Ugh. Nuclear sunrise. Here we go. This is what I'm talking about. Dark wood. Dark wood. This should do nicely. Give it a nice little shake. The only thing I'm worried about is if it looks too much like the skin, but you know, it's worth risking it. Risking it for the biscuit. Let's see what happens. Okay. All right. So the other thing that I need to figure out with these brushes is that this is precise detail, which makes me a little bit nervous because I know with the speed paints, they can harm some other types of brushes. So you want to be careful to not let them sit too much or go too high up on the bristles. Otherwise, it can cause some separation eventually down the line with the brush, similar to some of my other brushes. Yeah, I know. I know it's not great. I even done a video on like painting, on how to clean these things, and I'm still not that great at it. So, you know, gotta keep working on that. So adding a little bit to the tip there. Now let's paint in the wood. Let's see how this looks. Is there gonna be enough contrast? Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot darker than the Crusader skin, which I kind of like. Gives a nice little, does give a nice contrast. Gotta now get a little, gotta get in on where he blows into it. Oh God, I'm gonna mess this up. Okay, that's okay. Okay, we're getting there. Okay with this being a little bit messier. Yeah, synthetic, that's the thing. I could get a nicer brush, but I'm also worried whether I'd be responsible enough to take care of it. I could see myself buying a Kolinsky Sable brush, spending, a lot of money on it, and then absolutely destroying it by the next week. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's okay, so I'm gonna wash that off real quick, and we're going to use a slightly bigger brush to get the wood, the stick, the gigantic stick he's holding. You know what? I'm going to turn up the light a little bit. Ugh. Turn that up. Woo! It's a little bit hotter here, but that's okay. Trying to get some more light for y'all to see. Maybe. All right, let's go for it. You know, something else I'm going to do in the future too is maybe wear headphones, because I'm realizing that without music, I'm just sitting in silence, kind of monologuing to myself. Aside from you, Headhunter, you're being very participatory, so I really appreciate you. But just, thinking about my musings, just saying things in my head, seeing what comes up. Okay, oh, let's see if I can actually keep everything in the shot. Okay. You're in there. Okay, let's and this is a little bamboo stick we have here. I'll make that, why not make that a little wood too? I don't know about that. I feel like the bamboo would be a little bit more, be a little lighter in color. And is this bamboo? No, this isn't bamboo. This is its own weird random thing. Get that stick. Ugh. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like, even if, like, what I could do is I could play music on a set of headphones, and then, you wouldn't necessarily hear it on your end. I do have some friends who do make their own music, so I could always ask them to allow me to play their music in the background to make it less awkward. I could do it here, but then I'm worried about. I'm kind of worried about what it would be reverberation-wise. Again, another technical thing I got to sort out. Let's look for another tannish color. I think some sort of tannis for the bamboo, or like on other colors I've used. What did I do? Ooh, I used green before. That's weird. Gilly do. I have to think about that. Let's go with pastel yellow. Is that too? No, wait, is that too much? Is the yellow too much? Is that ridiculous? Is pastel yellow for? No, we can do better. We got the set. We got the complete set here. I know we have these colors. Let's see. Oh, well, I'm gonna keep in mind a bony matter next time. Here's another bone one I should have looked for. Let's try. Aged hide. Oh man. Just found something called Absolution Green. Kind of cool. That's what I was thinking, Headhunter, that like I could use the spillover from the green to make it look like a boil. Going gonna have to play around with that. Maybe I'll even play around a little bit with some wet blending if I get brave enough. Maybe this is more of a, this is an interesting one. Ochre clay. Maybe this is the bamboo. Let's give it a go. Gotta give it a nice little shaker-rooney. All right, figuring out all the colors here. So let's try this out. Is this okay? Let's give this a go. Let's give this a try. So I'm gonna put it all on the shield to see how it comes together. I'm gonna. Okay, I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I don't know. You know, it's like it's an off color of the green, but yellow. It gives like, I think it works. Let me know if you think I'm being ridiculous, but I don't mind that as a color choice. It's not bad. And then I think like maybe I'll keep the skull on the back white. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what would be cool here. All right. Oh man. And that's the other thing too, is like if you add too much, some parts definitely get darker than others with the crevices. You gotta figure out what that right balance is. Nice. Oh man, that's what I need. Just need a little bit of reassurance. Okay, here we go. Cool. Okay, there's plenty of bamboo everywhere on this guy, so we gotta get all those details filled in. And now underneath, whoa, getting a little close there underneath him, but you gotta get the details in. Okay, okay. Not bad. We got it. I just gotta think about whether I want the skull to stay that. You know what? This helps a little bit. Give on the eyes. Give them a little bit of a kiss. There we go. I mean, no. Oh man, do I want to risk this? I'm gonna risk it. Risking it for the biscuit. Not bad. Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it. So while we're here, hey there, Evan. Freestyling rap battling in a bog. I mean, yeah, you know what? This could be a great kit bash. Just give him like a microphone. He's just like, I'm not gonna say, but yeah, like bog freestyle rapping right there. Look at that. A nice little, yeah, straight out of the bog, ready to rock and roll. Basing them, I don't know. You know, there's a couple different fun things I can do. I do have some like swampy material I can use, but I haven't really had a chance to like use it before. I think I've just been waiting for the right miniatures for that, and these guys are very swampy, so that could be the solution there. Oh yeah, so let's go back a little bit to which ones? Let's go back to the skin for a second. I'm gonna go back and see if I can clean up, bring back a little bit more of the colors on the skin. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's coming out a little better. And then then we will, actually that does look like good little green pus. Maybe let's see what I got here. Hold on, let's do this. I'm going to experiment with something here. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to take a little bit of green now. I'm going to just thin that down a little bit. Thin that down as much as I can. I'm just going to see if I can get this a nice little, nice little green boil there. So like makes it look a little bit darker with that color. Something to play around with. Definitely like adds a little bit of something. We'll just keep adding on to that if I can. Should also add a little bit of green onto this guy's wrist. Give him a little bit. Fix up his cloak. Now the one thing is, like, darker colors are good to have second, because then it's a little bit easier to cover up any mistakes going over lighter colors. Just to keep in mind, so so the green would probably do better to cover up any skin I got on here by accident. Bingo bango. Yeah. So yeah, let's try that. Let's see what else. Let's see what other pussy areas there are. There's a little bit of a weird pussy thing right there. Let's see if we can do the same thing there. So go in with a little bit of the crusader skin. Gonna fill that in a little bit. Bingo bongo. Get that a little bit nice and wet. Get that all kind of there while I still have the paint on. Oh man, that's not sticking there. Okay, and doing a quick little change over to a little bit of tiny green, just a touch of green, just to get that a little bit. Ooh, no, too much. Let's do this. Let's bring that back a little bit. Okay, that's something, because you still want to keep that definition, but as long as it fills in the grooves a little bit, you can get a little bit of that rotten look. Definitely going to require some playing around, but we're getting there. Off to the green a little bit more. I'm going to give this guy a little bit more. I'm skipping some of the details here because, again, this is a miniature that I've been like sitting on these for a while. I kind of just want to like get them done so they can look good on the tabletop, look decent on the tabletop. This is not, for me, Warcry is a very fun game, but it's something that like is not necessarily something I see myself competing in. It's not really considered a competitive game, but it is a really fun game to just get together with your friends and play with. So I think for this, I don't necessarily need to make this the prettiest thing in the world, because it will be, mostly only at-home games. And honestly, I have some other armies that I can use in Warcry and Age of Sigmar or Spearhead, like my Soulblight Gravelords, where I do want to take some time making those look, really good. So, for this guy's little gourd, we're gonna go with Satchel Brown. We're gonna give this guy a little bit of things there just to fill this out a little bit. Give him another. Oh, yeah. Okay, yellow. I didn't see the green. Yeah, right. Just a little bit of yellow. I think that's what I need. I'll get to that in just a moment. I think the big thing is just getting the main color palette of everything chosen and going from there. So let me just make sure camera's got it. A little Satchel Brown for the win. And then going in. All right, let's see if this works. So here we go. It looks a little bit like Darkwood, but it's not the worst thing in the world. So I think the colors can still look similar, but then still serve different purposes. You want them to still have a cohesion to it. So it seems Satchel Brown. I'm going to add to that little thing. Not necklace, but whatever the heck that thing is hanging off of his arm. Let's give it a go. I might make metallic later on because I feel like it needs to stand out a little more. That little piece that's there. But we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Cool. All right, let's see. I had, oh yeah, pastel yellow. Let's try it. Let's give a nice little. Let's give a little bit to. Let's see if I can get some more shenanigans onto the pus boils. Oh man, that is very liquidy. I'm gonna just give a little bit of a touch here, a very tiny bit amount, and see if I can add something to these boils, because like they are standing out, which is nice. We just want to make them look a little bit more gross. And I think, ooh, okay, just a scotch of yellow. We're gonna let that sit for a few and see what happens. There's also a little bit right there. Okay, and then let's go on his back leg a little bit, because I think the green. Let's see, maybe a little bit more, a little bit stronger. Oh no, too strong. Well, made too strong, too strong. That's a little nasty. We'll see how that looks when it dries. Now, the only thing that I'm not really liking so far is what the Crusader skin has done here, and my inclination is to wait a little bit and see if it to let it dry a little bit more, then go over it again with another layer or two, and hopefully that will clean it up. But for now, I want to clean up a little bit of some of the paint misgivings on the shoulder bones, whatever those things are called. So palette, no. What did we use? We used. Oh man, now I'm getting mixed up. Palette bone. Which is right here. Plenty of palette bone. Okay, here we go. Just gotta. I know. We're gonna give it some time, and you know what? If it doesn't work, then later on, maybe when we move on to the layering stage, or more highlights in the future, then that's how we can fix it. There's also, as you can see here, I was mentioning that lighter like trying to put the lighter color. There's the darker colors that got on the lighter colors. Now trying to cover it up is a little bit more tricky here, and trying to think again if that's going to be a huge deal. But you know, I think just means I have to be more careful on the next ones. But that's something. And then it's a little something. So actually, let's see if we can label these all out so I don't get confused here. So we had Crusader skin. I'm going to basically lay everything out, color coordinate so I don't forget. I know, nasty Schwamin, you know, doing their thing and just grossly infecting the Ghur area. Wait, what did I just pick up? This is the Crusader skin. I'm going to go over some more of his leg here, even a little bit of his arm. Get that a little bit more cover. That's not bad. Okay, and then let's see. Just going to see if I can clean this up a little bit. Oh yeah, it does that. What it is this camera I'm using that's on me in the upper right hand corner of the screen is it's an old DSLR that I try to repurpose into a content creation cam. But the problem is that it's not the greatest. It's one of those old cameras that after 20 minutes or so of filming, it turns off, even though I've already set it up to do that. What's going on? Yeah, it says recording. Fingers crossed. Oh, that's right. I gotta get that too. So I'm gonna get this little. You know, things go well. If there's a reason for me, if I can keep continuing this, if people like get more people to watch, maybe I'll upgrade to another specialty camera, keep things a little more in focus, a little more fancier, but one step at a time. Oh man, I feel like I didn't get that. So this was the pastel yellow. That's right. Pastel yellow is what we used for. No, we used pastel yellow for the pus, and then we used desolate brown for the desolate brown is for the bamboo. Here we go. Oh yeah, I have my worst has been knocking over Croxagore scales, which I think is one of my favorite speed paint / contrast paints out there. But my God, I have made such a mess on that. I've had to throw out some pairs of pants because I just got covered in the paint and could not wash it out, despite it being acrylics. Maybe could have taken some more time with it, but I chose not to. I think I was just more disappointed in trying to save my carpet because I knew that I couldn't wash that properly. It was very disappointing. It's so annoying. It's only like when you go through it, look at it more, you realize, oh, I'm forgetting that. I messed up that section. And it's even worse when you see it on. You don't notice it sometimes by eye until you look on camera. It's okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna let this guy sit for a few. I'm gonna let him sit. I'm gonna come back to him. We're gonna try to see what we can come up with the other guys. And really quick for context, show you what the speed paint looks like. Speed paint miniature looks like versus the contrast miniature I did. And let me get those in focus for you. Yeah, I've also been thinking about getting an apron, but I just seem a little crazy. So, honestly, I think I just chose more vibrant colors. I am liking the look of the newer one again because I'm more of a vibrant color guy. But let's see what happens. Let's go to the next one. Let's see what let's see what we think. I want to try using the same color scheme on one of these guys that I've been working on, and we're gonna get an idea of whether this is the way we want to go. Okay, so this guy, this guy has a little bit more details, and that's the other thing that's fun about Warbands is that everyone always looks a little bit more unique, and this guy is looking kind of unique here. So let's give him some Crusader skin. This is dark wood. This is orc skin. Oh boy, which one is that? That was the Satchel Brown. This is what I get for not organizing. And this is what the fudge was this one. Is that Desolate Brown? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is what I get. This is what I get. Oh my god, that's right. Okay, that's where I messed up. Ochre Clay was what I painted the bamboo as, and I got myself confused, but now I have a system where basically the paint pots are in front of their corresponding colors in the thing. I should hopefully be a little bit better. Oh yeah, Kill Team, what are you playing as right now, or what are you painting? I'm gonna start with the bamboo this time. Still gonna start with the skin. It's pretty smart. I have the Gallo Fall set where I've been putting together the Votann kill team for a while now, and yesterday I finally took some time to sit down and paint it, and Paleonish Brown. And I'm very excited. I think they got a little nerfed in the recent edition, I think, but you know, again, that's okay. I'm not huge. I'm not into winning. I'm into playing. All right, here we go. Oh man, I keep getting so close. We keep getting close to 10 concurrent viewers, and then it goes back down to 8. I just wanted to go to 10, and then I feel like I've accomplished. Eagerly waiting the ratings. Let's commemorate a minute. Just finished building my year. Oh, cool. Yeah, the Jaegers. The Jaegers look cool. They do have a bit of hate. I can see why people, you know, hate on it. I guess so. I get it. People, you know, want to complain. I mean, I think they're kind of cool. They're a different vibe. Gives you a chance to play around with something different and not just full, you know, it's more cloth based because they're all wearing those heavy ass jackets over their armor. But, you know, I kind of dig it. I don't know what the rules are for them, but that's cool. Da, 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 da. I'm going to see if I can avoid the same things that happened on the last guy where I just let it get patchy. Hopefully it doesn't happen this time. I'm going to be a little bit more patient. That's fair. The Pioneers do look pretty cool too. I actually picked up a set of the original Votann army set when it first launched. I got it off a Facebook Marketplace, unopened, unused, for $100, and I still haven't built them yet. But the deal was too good to pass up. That whole army set with everything, $100. And then the guy also threw in the full Heart of Ghur set for $75. Just had them unopened. He had some e-commerce business. But it was just an opportunity where it's like, I don't think I'm ever going to get these for as good a deal again. So I just had to jump at it. So I got a lot of, you know, big pile of shame in my closet, but one day I'll get through them. That's the thing. Just gotta keep plugging away. Okay, so the big thing is, yeah, don't let it pool, don't let it sit, brush it away. That's the tricky thing. Oh, there's that. Yeah, I know, right? That's why I always like recommend checking out what's on Facebook Marketplace, because it seemed like a scam at first. He actually was selling it for cheaper too, before the holidays, but then I got it after the holidays and it went back up. But it's like, damn, very very cool, just very unexpected. So legitimately, what I should be doing is really batch painting these. But again, like I'm just feeling the vibe. I'm just making sure I like this color palette. There's a world where I go back and I can prime some of these here or there. No promises that I will do that, but you know, just want to kind of just get a general idea of what I like and how it's coming together. Yeah, okay, so let's give this guy, I think I'm going to go with the bamboo next because, okay, so I got to fix this. I'm going to go with the bamboo next because if I mess up with the bamboo anywhere, I can always go over it with green. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with that skull first. I should definitely go with the skull first. This was dark wood, and then I used pallid bone. That's right. I used pallid bone for his horns and the bone stuff. One of these days I'll get it. One of these days I'll get this. I'll get this organization down. I'll get everything going. I'm also curious too, like your opinions, Headhunter, on convenient times for streaming. I'm doing 7 to 9 because I figured, man, I like going to bed early. I'm trying to go to bed more early nowadays, like, you know, 10, uh, 10, 10:30 kind of thing, which seems early, but I feel like the streaming crowd doesn't really get going until later in the night when people are hanging out. Yeah, okay. Boop, boop. Ooh, I could probably. I wonder if I should give this guy, like, make these just pink flowers. That could be fun. Is that crazy? We'll see what happens. Give him a little bit. Just, give him a little. Give this guy a little bit of beauty. He's somebody who has it rough. He's got a lot of boils and poxes, but then, like, he loves some flowers. Whoa! Oh shit! Darn, man, cool. You're out in the EU. Well, thanks again. Thanks for coming by then. It's I tried doing a little bit of game streaming during the pandemic because I thought, let's see what happens, see if it's all lucrative, and it was okay. Didn't really talk to a few people. Didn't really stay consistently enough. I think, I'm a married dude. We happily married since earlier this year, and it's just, it's hard to, like, we live in the same space, and I just want to spend time with my wife, and I have my hobbies and I have passions, but, like, I just really like spending time with my wife. So there's a lot of comfort in that, a lot of benefits. Sometimes it can be, life's all about balance and finding time for each other and things to do. Multi-streaming from Twitch with the miniature kind of thing's coming soon. Probably when ooh, multi-streaming from Twitch. That'd be kind of cool. So you mean, like, I could stream both on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously? Is that possible? That'd be kind of cool. All right, let's give this guy his. Let's give this guy his ochre clay. Yay! Oh man, I'm so glad you like that. Yeah, Sassafras has been really enjoying. She likes, she's not a huge fan of all the miniature stuff, but she's very supportive of, like, hey, I'm making videos, I'm being creative, I'm interacting with people. She, after seeing, the reception of the video and, like, seeing that, for the most part, the internet's been very nice. There's been a couple of comments where I'm like, guys, you can make fun of me, but you can't, like, say things about my wife. Come on, you, like, grow up, folks. But other than that, like, we both have a sense of humor about these things. We're both pretty chill. And she definitely wants to try doing another one. She actually said, oh, we should do another one. What am I painting next? And I gotta figure out what that is. I've got a lot of options and ideas I'm working on, but again, there's just never enough time. Ooh, that's coming together. Never enough time for everything. Just the biggest thing is just, at the end of our lives, are we going to get to a point where we, are we going to be concerned about what we made time for? Like, if we didn't make enough time for one thing over another. Cool. All right, here we go. Let's give that a go. All right. Oh my god. I wonder what that'd be like. Oh, honey, I just got something in the mail. Don't worry, it's just a brand new model kit. Oh yeah, how much did that cost? Oh my goodness. It'd be absolutely terrifying. The big thing is I definitely want to, like, I really want to make more time to play games. It's just been really hard. Again, it's hard to, like, learn the rules to all the game systems, and it's a bummer. And I feel like sometimes I have a little bit of undiagnosed OCD and ADD tendencies, I'm sure, that, like, keep me a bit distracted with things. Sometimes, like, I just get in my own head about things. I just kind of, like, you want a contest? Oh. What did you win, Headhunter? Do. Oh yeah. Get careful with the details. Get in there and yeah, I gotta like get like another overhead light or something, just so any of these shadow bits you can both see on camera and I can see it too, because it's a little hidden here. Oh, I won a contest. That's right, I won a contest. Yeah. Well, I did apply for that Sigmar donation when they got the Warlord Titan diorama done. I did like upload an entry and uh, pay my $20 to try $20 or whatever it was to enter in to win. Um, Although I was like shocked, I'm kind of shocked that somebody chose to take the chose to take the diorama as opposed to the $20,000 grand prize. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a greedy guy. Uh, I don't know. I just know that I feel like I'd be much better place if I told my wife that I won $20,000 in a contest, and as opposed to, oh, look at this gigantic diorama that we have no space for in our 2-bedroom apartment. I'd be very fearful of how that conversation would go. All right, here we go. Oh, I messed up. I should have gone one direction, but I'm gonna keep going. Let's see what happens. You know, it's funny too. Like it looks almost as if like there's white spots, but that's just the glistening of the speed paint. I mean, yeah. I mean, considering the fact you could buy the Titan, I might. That might be the trade-offs. Like, oh yeah, here we go. I'm going to get this, but I'm going to buy one in exchange. Oh my god, that'd be. I feel like if you want to be, that's how you know you've made it in the YouTube sphere, is if like you can justify buying a Warlord Titan to paint on your channel. Sounds like a good time. Yeah, definitely going to try and figure out a way to add music in the future. I think that will be uh, a big thing. And again, I have some tunes I can borrow from a friend that he'll let me play on the channel, just to fill out some of the any awkward silence between me hyperfixated on the mini and then looking up and seeing any comments that come up. Do, do, do. Nationwide is on your side. Okay. The green really does work really well. I think the thing that, yeah, it's just like learning the patterns for how the paint flows off the brush and how it works. It's not bad. Just gotta get used to more brush control. Yeah. Lighten the mood is true. You know what? You know what actually? I also have, I don't know if it would stick this way, but I also have something called Artlist.io, which is like a royalty free music site. Music, stock footage, thing like that. It might be worth me just like grabbing like a playlist and just playing it in the background That could work. Or just make some beats. That's not a bad idea, actually. That's a great freaking idea. I am going to do that. You, sir, or ma'am, person. You, person, are genius. Sorry, not sure which you are, but thank you. All right, I gotta get that bamboo back in now. Smaller brush. Here we go. Bamboozled. Okay. All right, fella. I can do that. Okay. Let's do the green. You know, I think the thing is I'm also somebody who just kind of thinks a lot, or sometimes even like when there's no one around, I might just talk to myself. So this makes me feel a little less a little less in my head. So appreciate you stopping by. Although I probably will continue to stay in my head. I am liking how this is turning out. Definitely. All right, let's go. Let's add. I wanna make these flowers work. I think. Yeah. We're gonna add. Ooh. Which one is it? I wanna do. I wanna go full out. I wanna go with familiar pink on this one. I'm gonna go full out. Go super bright with these flowers, and then paint in the green again. I just wanna like give this. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Oh, what's this? Do I have a message? Who is it? Ah. Okay. So, time for a tiny brush, making sure I don't mess up any of these details I have thus far. Let's give a little pink there. Yeah. Here we go. Oh my goodness, yes. Oh yeah, man, back problems galore. I am 6'3" and trying to figure out the best way to sit, paint, and also make sure that it looks okay on camera is a pain in the butt. Um, have you played Spearhead yet, or just been building it so far? Because I am really it's probably some of the most fun I've had playing Warhammer. That also includes uh, Warcry. Yeah. Oh yeah. Give that a little bit of green. Oh my goodness. Let's give this a shot. Let's see if I can do this. This might be. I'm gonna mess this up, but let's see what happens. You gotta get the money shot here. be tricky. Maybe this would be better done with not. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We're getting there. You know, it can have a little bit of flow. That little. You know, maybe there's a little bit of both. I highly recommend it. You know, it's just like I don't like having to deal with the setup. The setup of games is always a big hindrance for me. Like when I was playing 40K, it would take us like an hour to set up the first game. Maybe like 30 minutes if you have it. It's just like learning the rules. And again, that comes with time. It can be faster. But like just the setups for Spearhead is so much quicker. Just like, yes, this is what I need. Just like you go to the next game. You don't have to sit around so much. Same thing with Warcry. It's just a lot faster to set up and get to playing. Let's see, how's that looking there? You know, I might have to add a shade later, but for now, let's go with that. That's not bad. You know, a little pink. I'll let it dry out a little bit, then I'll add some more pink, and maybe we'll look good. Hopefully, it will look good. And it's okay. Okay, we're getting there. Okay. Okay. Not the worst thing in the world. Let's add some brown. Let's add some darkwood brown. Get some of the more colors on. You know, actually, while it's doing that, I'm going to add some more of the Crusader flesh back on in. Just give a little bit. Boop. Just fill that color in a little bit more. Then I'm going to do that trick where I take a little bit of brown, a little bit of yellow. I'm going to try and make something gross here. Let's see what happens. Okay. Just a little yellowish there. Oh god, that's scabby gross. We'll add some more shenanigans there later and see how that builds up, but ugh. Man, maybe give a little bit, a tiny bit of green, see what that does. That might be ridiculous. I'm going crazy. Let's see what happens. Disgusting. You know, I like lore. I do like the lore. I think that. I mean, I love reading the Horus Heresy. Honestly, I've been mostly a 40K guy for a while, and I've been like, I understand the lore there. I read some of the Horus Heresy, but just could not get into figuring out what the rightful order of the books are. And you know, they are told from different authors, so it can be a little hard to know what's the right one to read and go through, the order to go through. Damn, that was Satchel Brown, not Darkwood. Oh, good. Yeah, I think on the tabletop for like little guys that like friends play, I think it's gonna look good. All right, here we go. Actually, getting the right colors. I'm gonna have to wash this bad boy out for the next session. So let's go. Let me go with my big brush here. There it is. So I think the thing, yeah. But you know, in terms of like Age of Sigmar, like I understand very little of the lore, and that's something that I would definitely be more into learning. Just has not really come up yet. Kim fuck for a second. Oh yeah, yeah, it's doing that thing again. All right, here we go. Yeah. Don't worry. When I get it one day, I'll get a sponsorship deal. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna have all of the cameras, all of the cool stuff, with the autofocus macro lens, because I'm actually having to change the focus manually every time I move so much. Again, another reason why I keep getting freaking back problems when I do this, because I'm just like, oh, gotta get the shot for the cameras, but not necessarily the most comfortable position. But that's all part of yeah. Oh yeah, I am curious about the Votan lore. Honestly, you know what? I do take that back. The book that I absolutely loved was The Infinite and the Divine. That was such a fun just such a fun book. Like it had a sense of humor. The book actually had a sense of humor, and like if you were aware of everything and had the context of Necrons and all the stuff they were talking about, like the different worlds, Isfahan 5 and everything like that, like when he's got the soldiers, Space Marines frozen in place, or like when actually no, I don't want to give it away if you haven't read it yet, but I highly recommend it if you haven't yet. It's like not looking bad, not looking too bad. I gotta get some of that. Satchel Brown in there. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Wraithbone Phoenix. The Wraithbone Phoenix. I actually haven't heard of that one. Is that still? I presume that's still 40K, right? Or what is that? Who's that follow? Yeah. Wow. This does really. Oh, you know what? I have the Finecast Trazen, depending on where you're from or what you say. I have him in my closet. I read that book. I got the boarding actions of Necrons, and I got Trizen, and I also got Orican. Got Trizen and Orican in my closet right now, and I did the only Finecast miniature I recently did was Mad Doc Grotznick, which was okay. I mean, like luckily got a good Finecast version of him, but he is could have done better with him paint wise. Still, it was a fun experience. I'm glad I got to do it. Now I just have to get the bravery to do it for some Necrons. All right, cool. I'll check it out. I mean, I just need to. I think I still got some like Audible credits somewhere too, so I need to use those. Um, is not looking too shabby. Pallid bones, get a little more motion here. All right, he's cute. I think this guy's cute. Give him a little. Let's see if I can get a little bit of the pastel yellow in there for any of these open sores he's got. Then I think I'll move on doing the last ones. Yeah, give it a little putrid look there. I think once I get a chance to go over that with some more, I think once I shade that in a little more, that'll give it a little more. That's not bad. I dig it. I dig it. You know, having these two guys on the tabletop together. Ooh, having these two guys on the tabletop together, that could look kind of good. I like little pink flowers. Definitely might go over that later on with some highlights, but for now, I think that's not bad. What I might do now, because I just want to give a... I'm going to wait on that. I want to just see what this looks like. Oh, no, I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to see how it looks on panels, and if I can do a good job with the panel line, because when I use one coat paints before with... wish I had the patience. Hey, Reaper of Souls, how's it going? You know, it's not just about patience. Sometimes it's just about, you know, willing to be comfortable making mistakes, play around with new things, and learn from them. So I'm gonna try putting some speed paint on this bad boy. Normally I would airbrush this, but not everyone has an airbrush, so I want to give a try on this guy and see what I can come up with. So, what do I give? What do I? You know, I haven't. What's a color I've done? I've done a lot of green. I've done a lot of. Obviously, there's blues. I'm just trying to think of something that'd be a little bit different. That's something I haven't tried yet in a while. Ooh, I haven't done a purple. How about? Oh, do I want to do a yellow? Ooh. Is it worth trying yellow? Everyone... I know, that's why I kind of want to try it, just because I feel like it's worth for this. If I'm trying out the speed paint line, I think it's important to give it a go. I feel like I should do like an extra test, just like, screw it, let's do a yellow, you know, give it, really, you know, make it hard mode. Pastel Seafoam, that, you know what? Let's try it. I'm going to go for it. Pastel Seafoam on panels. Let's see how bad or good this turns out. And, you know, we're going to learn from it. Because I've done speed paints before on panels, and it hasn't been great. But I think it's important to try to mix up your technique, because sometimes you just got to try to be a little more patient and not just slather it all in like I've done in the past. So, all right, here we go, guys. Pastel Seafoam. This is totally different than what I've used before. Let's give it a go. Oh, no. Oh, interesting. Really? Okay, maybe I'll give that a go. So here, I'm gonna get this on. Oh, God, look at that. Did you see that? I let it settle for a second, and then it already did that separation. Look at that. Oof. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's redo that. I want to try. Maybe I want to try your trick. I'm gonna try your trick real quick. Good as new. Gone. So one trick you've tried, if I haven't tested yet, is giving the area a quick pass with medium, and then almost as a wet blend. So you know what? Let's give that a go. The let's see. What do I got here? I have. There it is. We got some Speedpaint medium. Yeah, right? That was way too fast to get that gloopy. So we're going to try, and maybe that's just the paint, the pastel seafoam, just not doing what we needed to. But let's try a little bit of Speedpaint medium. Like you said, we're going to try and wet the area a little bit. If I haven't tested, I was giving it a quick pass to the medium, then almost as a blend. Okay, let's give this a go. So I'm going to get that medium. Okay, and then going into the pastel, and then interesting. That is very runny. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, look at that. Let's I'm gonna give that a few minutes. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna give that a moment and see what happens. It's definitely really running off there. Nope. Well, I appreciate the suggestion. You know, it could also be the it could also just be that type of paint, because sometimes there are just different paints that work better than others. Subtle. It's very subtle. It's hard to tell. I gotta adapt my settings a little bit more here, but let's try a different one. We're gonna try different. We're gonna try another color real quick. I'm gonna take another guy, because this guy probably still has a. No, it's dry enough. Okay, let's try a different color. We're going to go with not seafoam. Seafoam would probably work great if it went through the airbrush. Let's try. You know what? Let's go with Absolution Green. I feel like Absolution Green. I've played around with the idea of wanting to do a Salamander's army, and I feel like Absolution Green could be one of those things. So let's give that a go. I'm gonna give it a nice little shake, because maybe that's what I messed up last time, just not giving it good enough of a shake. Okay. Ooh, that is dark. Okay, so you know what? I'm just going to do Absolution Green straight up first without the medium to see whether that is the case or not. And let's see how it flows. So we're going to... Okay. Better. Definitely a little bit better there. Especially on the edges, okay. Oh, you know, I do have a vortex mixer. It's just not the most powerful thing in the world. Oh, that does look a lot better. It's a little bit there, but I feel like I'm gonna let it dry a little bit and I'm gonna come back to it. You know, while we're there, we're gonna look on. We're gonna use the backpack because it's panels, but it's also, you know, let's gonna try the medium trick. Let's see what happens when we add the medium. See if we can do a little wet blend there. Let's see if it does the thing. It's a little green already there from before. And we go back to the green. And then yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It looked like contrast paints through the airbrush just look great. This is a miniature I did that was a Zenithal, and then I airbrushed from above and like a darker green. This was with an express color contrast paint. Um, you know, clean, looks decent. And then like another one where I just like add some highlights from it. You know, obviously you're gonna have to brighten up, change the color of the face. But this was using a green express color or contrast paint. Can't remember which one I used. Um, and you know, it looks good. It looks clean, but not everyone has an airbrush, and I think it's important to know when talking about paint products whether it's worth having an airbrush, whether you can have the space for it. Doesn't everything through an airbrush? I mean, yeah, yes, you're right. Everything through an airbrush. Um, but you know, I think that some people, I'm lucky in that I was able to come up with a space to have it and have ventilation out my apartment. But not everyone, you know, has that opportunity. Um, oh boy. Okay, so this is the second coat here. Trying to add a little bit more. Hmm. Let's see what happens when that dries. We're gonna give it a moment. While that's doing that, how's this pastel? It's I mean, it's very light, but it kind of works, I guess. All right, let's add a little. Let's play around it. I like this medium technique you talked about. I think that there's something to it. I think it's just about finding the right mixture between them. Oh, that's what we need to do. Yeah. Okay, let's give this a go. No, it's the wrong brush. So you know that thing when you're on a live stream and you drop things, you don't know where they go? Yeah. All right, well, anyways, here's a little bit of medium. We're going to put it... We're going to go with his face. We're going to go with his face because I think there's a little bit more grooves there. We can get a better idea of how it works. So I'm going to get the medium on, but not too much. Just going to glaze that on. Okay. Oh. We got that. And then we're going for a little bit of the green. Here we go. I mean, aside from the pulling there, which I think I can... just get that a little bit of that pooling off. Just with a dab will do you. Okay, okay, okay. Not completely disliking this. Honestly, I think you just taught me something new, Headhunter. I am definitely intrigued in doing this more, putting the medium on and then adding the speed paint on second. You know, a little bit. There's still not perfect, but you know, there's merit to it. Again, I think there's the things that's not all flat panels. This green, when you add enough layers, it's starting to fill in quite a bit, but it does get dark really quick. Just the last touch of contrast in the middle of the plate after the medium, maybe giving it a chance to spread naturally. Yeah, let's give that a go. So just the last touch of contrast in the middle of the plate. Let's try it. Let's go for it. Let's try it. I'm gonna re-up this. I'm gonna re-up this medium. Maybe just straight medium. Sure, the brush is all clean and stuff. Yeah, I can deal with Dark Angels. just a few dark levels between Salamanders versus Dark Angels, but Dark Angels I think are cool too. You know, we got the lion. So here we go. We're going to douse this in medium, and then we're just going to do a touch of the contrast and see what it does. Interesting. Interesting. Ooh, okay. Interesting. So like, it almost feels like it's definitely more of like, yeah, letting it run naturally down instead of trying to splotch out everything. Like that is a very interesting. Like there's still a little bit of pulling, but it's definitely. Ooh, didn't need to do that. That's okay. It's doing something. So if I can also just get boop, boop, boop. Okay. Not the worst idea. I'm trying to figure out if that pulling. It's just a tiny bit of pulling dry brush. You're not wrong. Maybe a little dry brush. Where are you at? Where are you at, dry brushes? Maybe just give it a little bit of a. Too much? Too little? Too much? Well, you know, definitely maybe not, maybe different brush for me on my end, or a better dry brush, but yeah, like it definitely, like it can definitely work. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can even this up a little bit more now that I've. You know what? Let me try. I'm gonna try this technique again with the medium. I mean, yeah, man. I'm here to try my influencing. If what you see here is working for you, then I'm super happy to hear that. It's almost like letting it drip down too a little bit. A cotton swab. Ooh. Maybe I got a little. Consider me influenced. Great. I'll let the army parent know that I got at least one person interested in trying it. So let's do a little bit. This doesn't do much. Okay. 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 Let's let that dry for a moment, and we'll see what happens. Boot's not looking bad. There is a little bit of this happening, but I think that might just because of, is that mold lines? Let's go. Let's give it a second. Let's go. Let's have it go over. Let's give it a second to dry off, and then I want to try. I'm gonna try this on a fresh model. I'm gonna do. We're getting close to the end of the stream. I think I should be calling it soon. I think my wife will be coming home. Got to get a few more things situated this evening before I call it a night. Maybe twist into a finer tip. Oh yeah. I also probably should have some better cotton swabs than just cheap Q-tips. All right, let's try this again. Going with the medium. Giving that all. Maybe like I'm gonna try working from the bottom up and see if that's the way to go. So if I start bottom, then I go up. Ooh, that's very runny, but let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And then there's a little bit of pooling, but maybe because of the pooling, I can drag it out a little bit. And then spread it around a little bit more in the appropriate places. I mean, it's doing something. It just, yeah, that. Ooh, doggy. I mean, I don't necessarily. It's not. I'm not the biggest hater of a small bit of pooling because it does, create that shadowing effect. You just don't want it to look messy. So maybe. Ooh, doggy. Ooh, we did it. Oh God, we did it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. There's a little bit of patchiness there. Yeah, the swimming pool definitely is. I think it's really about just getting the right mixture of the medium and the paint. And I think that goes back to the whole idea of so if I want speed paint, the whole idea is like you don't necessarily need to thin it down, but if the medium on flat panels, just figuring out like what the right method is. So I'm gonna try one more time. I'm gonna use a little less medium this time, and let's see what happens. Try it out a little bit more. That way its surface area is more all over the place. Okay, and then we go in for our green. Now, when you say wick the brush, do you maybe wick the brush after loading it with contrast a bit before applying? Oh yeah, just a little shoop. Yeah, maybe. We'll wick it a little bit. Wick a little bit with contrast. Give it a little bit of that. Let's give it a little. Let's see what happens here. I mean, it's not a great indicator because, again, like the way with these jump packs work is that they are, you know, they're not the flattest, so they do spread a little bit. Ooh, but it's better. Pat the paintbrush. You know, yeah, hey, thanks there, Platinum Angel. I was trying that around a little bit. It definitely is. I was playing around with the padding a little bit in the contrast paint. It definitely does make a difference. So this is like, on this side, this is where we let it pool a lot more, and we had probably too much contrast paint. It's okay. Could probably use with another layer, but let's... Okay, so controlling the flood, a damp piece of paper, offload the majority of the contrast not before applying it. Dump damp piece of offload the majority of the contrast not before applying the mini. Seems like a good idea. All right, let's do the let's try. I'm going to Platinum Angel. I'm going to try yours. But kind of going to say brush over flat areas while using. Okay, so pat the brush. Okay, so we're gonna try that real quick. We're gonna go with that. We're not gonna add any. We're not gonna add any medium to this, but we're gonna try this on the leg and see what happens. So we're gonna. I got a little bit more of Absolution Green, and my personal cam probably went down again. It'll be back up in a second. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fellas. Alright, so here's the leg. And alright, here we go. Get that loaded on. We're going to try just padding this area with the speed paints instead and see what we think. So just going to do a little boop, 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 boop. Definitely. Not looking bad. I mean, I think because the surface area spreads out a little bit more, it's not as if it's all coming down to a single tip, which can cause the pooling, and so it all gets more evenly. Look at that. Look at that real quick there. So if I put it here, cleans out, it actually melds together instead of pooling a little bit and creates less separation. Okay, Platinum. Okay. Now there's a little bit of pooling here, which maybe that's just more about brush control and having less paint on the brush while still doing that dabbing method. Again, I think it's about the control of it all, but also considering that it's you know, the inside of his boot, I can stand to reason to be less. So you heard it here, folks. This is it. This is how we roll here. We talk it out in the chats and comments, and we problem solve, and then we take it home and try it on our own miniature. So here, I'm going to try the padding this time. I'm going to use a little less. I'm going to have a little less medium contrast paint on it. Sorry, jeez. Have a little less speed paint on it, and we're going to see how well it works. So, boop, boop, Boop. I'm actually very excited because this is something brand new for me that I haven't learned yet, so I am quite stoked by this realization. Look at that. Okay. I think maybe I may have whiffed it on this one, but it's okay. It's okay. Ah! Definitely whiffed it a little bit on that one. So you know what? We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it up here one more time. Try it up there one more time. And then, friends, I might have to call it an evening. But definitely an exciting time. Glad to try out some new techniques. Great getting some suggestions from folks. And for those who are watching this after I've been streaming, thanks for watching all of it. I appreciate you. So here we go. Let's try this again. Here we go. Okay. It's really, yeah, getting that side of the brush. Yeah. Oh, I whiffed it. Less isn't better. No, you know what? Yeah. Okay. One last time. Here we go. Yep, I think you're right. Maybe less. Not about the control. It's about letting it get wet, but not like crazy goopy running. But let's try it. Let's give it a go. Oh, hey there, Lily Strumpet. You're liking what you're seeing? It was designed by a good friend of mine who then created an animation for me, which I will be using in future videos. All right, here we go. Last one, guys, and I'm calling it a night. I need to go spend time with my wife, and I love her, and I miss her. All right, so here we go, and she's also in the group chat. All right, so I'm going to overload this brush, trying to be careful not to destroy the brush because that will happen, but we're going to go right here on this. All right, here we go. Okay. The question is, do we do it more? Boom. Boom. Okay. Honestly, it might be, this just might be the way to go. You gotta put more on it, do it from the side, and then if you are worried about the pooling, the trick seems to just be you can try to go back and control it before it dries, but you know, it's not the worst. I personally don't mind too much of the pooling as long as it's not too large. But I think we may have cracked the code, guys. Again, it's not perfect, and I added that little thing because I got impatient, but, you know, that's not the worst thing in the world. Let's get that focus. And this was another one. Let's go over that real quick. Just see what the full coverage looks like if it gets rid of that. Because, you know, this, I gotta say, this paint really builds up. Like, the more layers you put on, it really does just get darker and darker, which, you know, can really work well. You just gotta know if that's what you're going for. Like, that is almost dark. That was almost now black. That's a very dark black, but could work for some dark angels. Yeah, this isn't bad. I think then again, this is going to require some more. I think it definitely will require some more practice and fine tuning. But I'm pretty happy with what we've tried here today, and I have some more miniatures I want to try this with in the future. So yeah, I'm gonna have to come back and do this again, guys. I really appreciate y'all for sticking out. Call out to Headhunter for sticking around with me for so long. Platinum Angel for the suggestion. Lily Strumpet for stopping by. Oh yeah, I think the lion's. I mean, I would love to paint the lion one day. That'd be a lot of fun. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Check out the rest of my videos if you haven't seen them yet already. Hopefully getting some more fun content out in the future. Appreciate you coming by. Have a great night. Keep painting, and I'll see you all soon. I'll see you all soon.